The measuring instrument applied to surveys of residents was based on a 13-item questionnaire that addresses the demographic profile of residents in the sample, 6 commenting on the economic, cultural, social, and environmental aspects. In general, they have observed about the impact of tourism in their environments. It ends with questions about the attitudes and disposition toward tourists. Due to the length of the questionnaire and the objective of the survey, blocks of questions were condensed into 13 items divided into 4 sections. The attractiveness tourists are looking for visiting Alcossebre at question number 1. The benefits that tourist arrivals bring to residents, questions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The deterioration, problems, and impacts that residents attribute to tourists, questions 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Predisposition to invite tourists to return at question 13. The categories of the variable occupation may be explained as follows: officer, worker, employed, retired, housekeepers, students, and others. To calculate the weighted average, it is appropriate to obtain a measure of the tendency, and when a data has a relative importance of weight related to other data, such as questions of valuation, scale Likert. It is obtained by multiplying each of the weighting data weight and then adding them, thereby obtaining a weighting sum. Then it's divided by the sum of the weights, resulting in a weighted average. The results. The socio-demographic profile. The table above shows the distribution of respondents by number and percentage, according to the 4 variables: sex, age, occupation, and place of origin, and their corresponding categories are shown. The questionnaire consisted of 13 questions, 4 of them close ranking type. That is to say, there were different options to choose from in order of importance to the respondent. The rest of the questions were designed to be measured according to the Likert scale, that is, considering the following assessment. 5 equals a lot, 4 equals a pretty, 3 equals regular, 2 equals something or somewhat, and 1 equals a little or nothing. By thematic section, the questionnaire was divided into 4 blocks. The first one was about the reasons for visiting Alcossebre. The most chosen option to this question was the beaches, as the main reason to visit Alcossebre, with 46% of the total, regardless of variables. The second place was for the option the gastronomy, with 23%, and the third one for the real estate products offer, with 17 of responses. The second thematic block asked for the benefits that tourist arrivals bring to residents. In the third thematic block, about the deterioration, problems, and impacts that the residents attribute to tourism, the overall results shown that residents complain regard to the pollution in the beaches, in the town, as well as in an increasing of waste due to the tourism. Finally, in the fourth thematic block, about the predisposition to invite visitors to return, 46% of participants were residents rather predisposed to invite tourists to repeat the visit to Alcossebre. The weighted average is 4 and 16, so the tendency towards this attitude is probably yes. In general,
It can be observed that residents are very proud of their landscapes and gastronomy, and mostly of them want Alcossebre to be known and be appreciated for its natural beauties. They are also aware that tourism is currently the main driver of the local economy, and it is essential for the economical survival of its inhabitants and the development of the region. In the last 60 years, tourism has occupied the leading place as a generator of local wealth, so the residents have already learned to live with tourists and with the advantages and disadvantages of their presence. Therefore, there are no especially reluctant visitors keep coming on vacation to Alcossebre, but even they wish. The advantages obtained with this are largely weighted to the disadvantages, and residents show themselves especially trusted that tourists value the natural beauty and the services offered and respect them during the stay. Conclusions. Having to rely heavily on tourism, is it not surprising that respondents put high hopes on it for their economic well-being and tend to have positive attitudes toward tourism. Despite the perception of some negative impacts, residents perceive as beneficial overall effects. They associated tourism with a significant industry that supports the local economy, giving employment opportunities, business and investment, a variety of cultural activities, cultural exchange with tourists, recreational activities, and rehabilitation of historic buildings. The local population blamed the tourism raising prices of real estate products, the cost of many goods and services, causing traffic congestion, waste, water pollution, air and soil, noise, and decrease the availability of farmland and natural landscapes. Tourism can help to improve the quality of life of residents because the public and private investments for employment, infrastructures, and services. Therefore, residents adapt themselves to live with the negative consequences because the benefits have a greater weight. Youngest people are the most positive towards tourist presence, but they don't perceive the environmental and social impacts. Residents blame the government policies of the landscape degradation and minimize the tourist's responsibility. Contributions. Through knowledge generated by the responses of the local population in terms of the perceived problems, mainly environmental, the study could be an incentive to consider the perception of the host community to the tourist presence as an essential part in the decision-making process. The study also could make aware the planners to implement actions and policies towards sustainable tourism development and stable employment opportunities for the youngest people, as well as landscape preservation and its regeneration. Besides, the survey is useful to understand the environmental, social, and economic problems that residents are detecting on their area and day-to-day. It contributes equally to decision-making to prevent negative reactions toward the tourist presence. The survey provides an incentive for better understanding of resident support for tourism development for local community and local governments. It may be useful for evaluate the environmental protection as well as the education programs. Thank you very much for your attention. My name is Maria de las Nieves Suarez. I'm a PhD student at the Technical University of Catalonia in Barcelona, Spain. Thank you very much.